Matt Murdock's life is coming apart at the seams once again as the evil specter of greed looms over his head. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of Daredevil issue number 11 and find out together, shall we? So then, as we rejoin the book, Matt Murdock had just been thrown out of a window to his near death at the hands of a returning kingpin who has been supercharged after being possessed by the demonic embodiment of the sin of greed. Now, on its own, that all sucks pretty good, but just to really push it over into a biblical level of suck, Jason, one of the young children that Father Matt is taking care of at his orphanage, has chosen now to run away from home in the dead of night, and he only did that because, get this, Daredevil killed his father. And now the kid knows that loving Father Matt and Daredevil the Vigilante just so happen to be one and the same person. Father Javi does everything in his power to try and keep the peace back at the orphanage, but it's kind of hard to deal with the loss of the kid and the fact that Matt has gone AWOL all at the same time. Matt just narrowly manages to survive his injuries and wakes up at Elektra's apartment. Apparently she's been keeping a special Asgardian poultice for just such an occasion. Never happened to know when an old boyfriend might blow into town and might need to cheat death once again, you know? These couple hours or so Matt was unconscious actually ends up being the longest time that Matt and Elektra have spent together ever since his resurrection and his turn to Father Matt. Hell, Elektra even says as much, that before all of this they were married, they were going to spend their lives together, but Elektra never once made Matt feel guilty about what he's doing. In fact, she's even going out of her way to put some feelers on the street to try and find the kid again, but don't let him think for a second that they might be getting back together anytime soon. But I mean, come on, it's Matt and Elektra, there's always a good chance they're getting back together soon. Unfortunately though, they're not going to find Jason because he already got himself grabbed by Bullseye at the behest of the Kingpin. Only here's the twist though, Bullseye kinda likes the kid. And why shouldn't he? He breaks the laws, runs around with knives, talks about killing Daredevil. He's basically just a little version of him. We also learn in this issue that Jason's dad before his death just so happened to be a member of Norman Osborn's Hammer group. He was actually with Bullseye on the day they went to apprehend Matt. Bullseye, you'll recall, blew up the entire block and blamed the entire thing on Daredevil, meaning that Jason's father was actually a victim of villainous friendly fire. To Jason's credit though, when he actually gets pushed about Daredevil's secret identity, he doesn't rat out Father Matt, even though he very easily could've. The kid might be mad, but he ain't no snitch, that's for sure. Wants to handle his business on his own, you know. And speaking of handling business, when Daredevil gets back on his feet, him and Elektra check out another one of Fisk's safe house. Him and the Heat have already cleared out by then, but in their place they left behind a letter with admittedly very nice penmanship for a brutal gang boss like Wilson Fisk. He left a Bible quote, something he thought that Daredevil would like a lot. It would seem that supercharged Fisk plans to go and deal with his own son Butch Ferris, take back his old territory once and for all, and then set his sights on Father Matt's orphanage. Obviously, Matt and Elektra can't let that happen, and even though they know full well that they would be walking headlong into a trap, they decide to take Kingpin up on his offer for one major showdown. In fact, they get there in just enough time to stop poor Butch from getting his head popped like it was a ripe melon or something. With so few options left, and because fighting him didn't exactly work for Daredevil last time, he figures the only way he's gonna win this fight with Fisk is if he tries to overcome his own unfortunate history when it comes to the sin of greed. And let's face it, when you break it down, Matt Murdock is kind of a greedy guy. He thinks he can have it all: a job as a lawyer, many beautiful love interests, a night job as a violent vigilante, and a day job as a peaceful man of God. Sooner or later, something's gotta give, right? And over the years, things have given many times in Matt Murdock's life, usually hurting all of the people around him. Even now, Matt's attempt to try and live multiple lives at once is exactly what got him in this situation and what put poor Jason's life in danger. Or, as the Kingpin so eloquently puts it, as he has been all series long,
"Your greed, your refusal to choose between one thing and another is why you will die at my hands. It's why you will be helpless to stop me as I crush the life from the murderous woman who has caused so much trouble."
And just to really hit the point home a little little harder in case you couldn't tell. It's at that point Wilson Fisk quite literally bursts into flames as he threatens to bring ruin to Daredevil's house for all time. And so that was Daredevil issue number 11, everybody. I was a little late getting to this one, but I'm honestly glad I did. Saladin Ahmed really is managing to craft one hell of a sleeper hit over here. The whole Matt Murdock must face his own 7 deadly sins setup is honestly kind of genius in stories like this show. Why? Because it allows the writer to actually dig a little deeper and even be a little critical of how Matt has lived his life and how he wants it all, and because of that he's pulled in 100 different directions, and people like Jason, his relationship with Elektra, all end up suffering at the end of the day, even if he doesn't mean it. I appreciate, too, that even at his absolute lowest, even when his world is catching fire all around him, Daredevil still goes out of his way to try and appeal to Wilson Fisk's own sense of humanity, saying that he's always been bad, but in his own twisted way, he's always cared about his own son, and that the spirit of greed is twisting him to do stuff he wouldn't normally do. It's all really great stuff that had me on the edge of my seat from the beginning to the end, and I can't wait to see where it all ends up shaking out from here. Overall, I would give this one another very positive 8 out of 10.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, thanking you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out my Amazon link down in the description. Yes, that's right, the Cape Joel channel officially has its own Amazon storefront now. You can pick up a comic or anything else for that matter, and if you did, you'd really be helping me in the channel. So with that out of the way everyone, I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.